China versus the United States in artificial intelligence. So China has come a long way in a short time, obviously. I mean, they're the world leader in a lot of areas, including payments, because they didn't get into the whole credit card thing, so they could leapfrog, directly into using the cell phone for payments because there was no, barriers to entry like in America. Everyone's satisfied with their credit cards. So regarding artificial intelligence, China has two big advantages. The first is that, relative to the United States, the first is that America AI is very fragmented into leading companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon. I mean, these are some of the world leading companies in AI. Amy Webb, if you want to check it out, it's a really good book called The Big Nine, has identified the 9 leading companies in AI in the world. 6 are American, which she calls the G Mafia, and 3 are Chinese. So Chinese companies are also strong in AI, but some of the leading companies in the world are American companies in AI, but they don't share information. I mean, to a certain degree they may, but a lot of it is proprietary, so it doesn't get shared. Whereas in China, the government oversees the AI initiative. Not only that, but China is funding AI very heavily, whereas the American government doesn't really fund AI apart from the work that the leading companies are doing. So China is very rapidly, by most metrics, moving up in the world in terms of AI research and discovery. And the fact that, China is centralized and America is fragmented is a big part of it. The second big part of it has to do with data. The more data that you have, the more you can train the models for AI, like for machine learning and deep learning. And, the data sets in China are huge, not only because they have many more citizens, 1.2 billion approximately, but they have access to a lot of data because of surveillance and, just the way that the government is run that America doesn't have. So when you combine those together, China has major advantages. Now, America does have other advantages. I mean, we have the top universities in the world, although China's been building up the universities and poaching a lot of our top talent, paying them astronomical salaries. We have also one big advantage that China doesn't have, and that is kind of an entrepreneurial mindset. So that goes a lot with our kind of maverick nature, of America, kind of like, from our roots, not only fighting the British in the Revolutionary War, but then the Wild West. We have kind of a frontiersman maverick mentality that's evolved over time. And China has, a great dynasty mentality as well. But in their current incarnation of, hierarchical control, and censorship, it kind of buttons down independent thought. I haven't been to China myself, but I've spoken to many people that have, and they said that Chinese are great at, hard work and, following orders and things of that nature, but a little bit less skilled at thinking outside the box because it's not really encouraged as much. There's a caveat to that, though. The Chinese entrepreneur scene, technology companies, were famous, 10, 15 years ago for just copying American products, Facebook, Twitter, just putting a new name on them. But they've used that as a base to kind of get into the game and get the technological know-how. But now they've moved more towards innovation. I mean, you look at WeChat, you look at Alibaba, Jack Ma, you look at Tencent. There's quite a bit of innovation happening now in China. So it's not, clear-cut at all that China can't innovate America at some point. Although the way that the systems are based, America does have a leg up still in that regard.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.